Ben. Put him up on the speaker.
Remember the speakers turn on. Okay, but when we turn this mics on, speakers go on.
Welcome back. This is Lyn Fairly, News Talk 1590 KBTA. I have an amazing show today. I have Claire Burrell, our legal beagle, back.
I am back, indeed.
You are back, indeed. And I have the representatives of the Ventura County Sheriff's Department with their K-9, Michael Grossman, Ernie Cox. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And you have Ben.
We have Ben. Ben is here with us, and Ben is here to play today.
And Ben is a golden lab. He's a K-9 who works for the Sheriff's Department. Can Ben say hello?
Ben, say hi.
There we go. There's Ben. Now we're going to kickstart this with a joke. Claire Burrell, you've got a funny joke.
Guy walked into the pet store and wanted to buy a dog. Looked at all the dogs and was kind of discredited and disgruntled. He didn't see anything he liked. On the way out, he looks out the door. There's a dog tied up in the backyard. Says to the pet shop owner, "What's the dog in the backyard?" He says, "Ah, you don't want that dog. That's the talking dog." He says, "The talking dog?" "Yeah, you don't want that dog." He says, "I got to see this dog." He goes out in the backyard, walks up to the dog and says, "So, I understand you're the talking dog." Dog says, "Yes, I am. How can I help you?" He says, "I'm amazed. Dog can talk." He says, "How'd you learn how to talk?" He says, "Well, I was a member of the CIA. And my trainer was a member of the CIA, was an agent, and you know when the wall came down in Berlin?" The guy says, "Yeah," and he says, "That was us." He says, "Well, don't tell me you can speak German." The dog says, "Ich verstehe das Deutsch nicht sehr gut." He says, "That's fantastic. What else did you do?" And he says, "Well, you know that cartel that broke up in Colombia?" Yeah. He says, "Well, that was me. That was us. Me and my guy." He says, "No, you don't speak Spanish, too?" He says, "Yeah. Yo no comprendo siempre, pero sigo trabajando." He says, "That's fantastic. I have to have this dog." He goes back inside. He says, "I have the dog. I have to buy that dog." He says, "You don't want that dog." "What do you mean you don't want that dog?" He says, "You don't want that dog?" He says, "I'll buy the dog." "How much? It must be outrageous. How much is the dog?" "Well, you can have the dog for $5. $5 for that incredible talking dog?" He says, "Yeah, he's a pathological liar."
Da-dum-dum. Very, very funny. I thought that was great. He told me that this morning. First thing, so I thought that would be a great way to open the show. The National Police Dog Foundation, their mission is raising funds, promoting education and awareness for the purchase, training, and ongoing veterinary care for the active and retired police canines. In 1998, the Ventura Police Dog Foundation began as a local group helping to fund the canine program for the city of Ventura. Ventura Police Department Lieutenant Dave Inglis and veterinarian Ron Dazel, along with a few volunteers, realized the need for a civilian organization to help fund canine units. In addition, many cities in Ventura County lacked budgets to fund their canine programs in their entirety, so the foundation expanded and became the Police Dog Foundation. Not only did police departments lack the initial funds to purchase and train a dog, many did not have a budget for serious medical issues. This continues to be the same circumstance today throughout the United States, so the foundation expanded again and became the National Police Dog Foundation, which is why we have the dog here today. This is coming up, the third annual Dining with the Dogs fundraiser dinner. We are giving away tickets today, so stay tuned because I will be asking for callers. You will enjoy dinner with all you can drink, wine and beer, live band demonstrations, live and silent auctions, and raffle items. The tickets are normally $60, so this is really a great deal if you win one. It benefits the Ventura County Sheriff's K-9 Unit, the National Police Dog Foundation, the Ventura County Sheriff's K-9 Search and Rescue. I have a working dog's oath here. Now, if Ben could recite this, I'm sure he would. He says, "I will lay down my life for you and expect nothing but love in return. I protect my officer with my life, and I would gladly take a bullet in his place. I am sent in to find lost children and fugitives on the run. I find drugs and weapons and even bombs. I'm the first sent in and sometimes the last to leave. I am the nose and the ears of my officer. I will protect and serve him. I would die for him and you. I ask only for compassion and a kind word." Right, Ben? Ben?
Ben, do you agree?
Is that right?
Yeah.
I already know, I got it. That's awesome. So I want you to be a part of that. I want you to go dining with the dogs, and it's a little bit when I shout out for a phone call. Call in, you'll get some tickets for that. First of all, I want my guest, Sir Michael Grossman.
Yes.
I think you're the man. You want to speak the most.
I'm the one that does most talking.
Most of the talking. Okay.
Other than
We're used to that, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. And Ernie Cox is with us as well. Welcome.
Thank you.
How does a police agency purchase a dog?
You know what? Usually it's a lot of fundraising. When an agency is getting ready to purchase a dog, they have board meetings and what you know and stuff like that, and basically they come up with a plan. And a lot of times they use National Police Dog Foundation in part of that plan. And what National Police Dog Foundation will do is they'll raise at least half the funds for not only the purchase but also all the training the dog is going to get during its lifetime. Your average dog coming out of Germany or Czech or something to that effect, the average dog coming over with importing costs is about $10,000 right away. And then we put in about $25,000 into training with the dog. So for an agency to start their first canine, it's a huge chunk of change, and the National Police Dog Foundation is there for that reason. What we want to do, we want the agency to basically try to raise at least half of the funds needed. That way, it shows a little bit of dedication on the department, and it just basically gives them a success plan, if you will.
Okay.
So.
Another question: why are canines not part of budgets for the agency? I would think they would be part of the salary. Okay, Ben. See, he agrees.
That's right. He does.
Completely agrees.
You know what? I wish I had an answer for you on that one. It's always been like that, as far as I know. I've been on the team for 5 years now, and raising funds has always been up to the K-9 unit themselves. There's foundations out there. There's the Ventura County Sheriff's K-9 Foundation. There's also the Ventura County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Foundation. They'll help us out, but mainly it's still the officers bringing in, or the volunteers bringing in the money for the dogs.
Absolutely amazing. Well, how much would somebody like Ben eat, and what would that cost, for example?
Ben's probably bringing in, he's eating about 4 cups a
Cups a
day.
day.
You figure he's going through a
So
couple.
he's
I think he said 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants more apparently. Probably a couple bags a month in dog food. The big thing for them is not the cost of the food. It's really, and we do have sponsors for food. It's medical. Medical is probably the #1 cost for dogs. You know, a simple operation. My dog had what's called bilateral OCD. It's a osteochondritis dissecans. It's a malfunction in the shoulder blades, basically. The surgery itself was $6,000,
Oh my
and he had that at 6 months old.
Oh.
So they wanted me to retire him, but we didn't.
Oh, good. That's such good news. I know our legal beagle has a question.
How many dogs do you guys have in your unit?
The Sheriff's Department K-9 unit has 6 patrol dogs and 1 detection services dog that works the jails for narcotics. The K-9 Search and Rescue team for the Sheriff's Department, we have 12 dogs, and we have 14 volunteer handlers that control them. Basically, we have 4 bloodhounds, and they're eating a lot of food. The bloodhounds are about 130 pounds, and are eating anywhere from 6 to 8 cups a day. So.
Amazing. That's something. Well, in fact, right in the parking lot here, under air conditioning, you have how many dogs combined together?
We have 4 dogs combined in the vehicles right now.
So this is number 5 here in the studio.
This is actually number 4. We have 3 in the vehicle right now.
3 in the vehicle, 4 here. And the other 3 I met were a little too rambunctious. We thought that probably
sitting still is not their forte.
Yeah, we wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
Working dogs are not the dogs you want at home.
No, as soon as you open the door to introduce them to me, they came rambling out, running all over the place, and they looked like they were immediately starting to hunt and search for things. They looked like they just went out all around the
live to work.
perimeter to check things out before they came to see me, which I thought was
Well, when you think about it, they have to be ready at all times because we're called out all through the night, 24/7, and not to mention the reward. They only get the reward when they find something, so they're always looking for the reward. Therefore, they're always searching.
What's the reward, for example?
Well, you know, different dogs have different rewards. Our dogs primarily are on what we call a tug, which is a simple piece of fire hose connected with a handle and a little bit of stuffing, and the dogs can mash down on that and get a little tug back and forth with the handler. Very interactive between the dog handler. Very rewarding to the dog. I don't know why you would think that cash would do much better, but unfortunately, fire hose, tennis ball, something like that.
They
Plenty.
live for their toys.
Kong?
That's all they want.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Because he knows I have his toy.
You have his toy. Now, if you were to give him his toy right now, what would happen?
He just probably took me across the studio. Yeah.
The fight would be
I
on.
see.
The fight's
So-
on. Yeah,
so
it's just
if
all
you-
about.
If you don't
it's all
let
about the
go.
fight.
Oh, I see. He went
So
right for it. That's absolutely
And
amazing.
he's about 85, 90 pounds and extremely strong.
By the way, we're getting
Oh.
this on tape. We're
No.
filming this whole entire thing. You'll be able to see it later on YouTube.
So
Oh my
even though
goodness.
they live for their toy, they're very obedient. They listen very well. They have to. They work off leash primarily. And I think what Mike didn't touch on is on our part, the search and rescue part, we're 100% volunteer. We're not paid deputies. We're not sworn officers.
Amazing.
So we have regular jobs we work. We're responsible for all our own costs as far as buying the dog, medical, setting up our vehicles, any of the equipment that's required, advanced training that we take outside of the area with other agencies and to keep these dogs up and sharp to work good.
Absolutely incredible.
It's probably just to maintain a dog per year on each dog. It's probably close to 10,000 per dog.
That's
Between
after you bought them.
that's after everything. That's
else.
just medical, food, equipment. It's about 10,000 per dog per year. So I mean, you think of a team that like the search and rescue volunteer team, the search and rescue team. We are a 12-man team. So you can just put it into perspective how much money you really need to have to keep that unit running and running effectively, running it at top notch.
That's so admirable that you guys volunteer to do this. Very admirable.
Thank you.
Now, have you law enforcement training prior to this, so that do you have to go through training to know how to do search and rescue yourselves, or does the dog do all the work?
Yeah, it depends on the job you're going into search and rescue. Every search and rescue team has some form of an academy. It's not quite the intensity that the sheriff academy is or the law enforcement academy, but nevertheless, it is an academy of some sort. You need to have basic knowledge in first aid and first responder status. The K-9 team is a little different. We're more specialized with dogs, therefore. Our academy doesn't quite go into rope work and stuff like that, but we still go into scent theory, scent picture, how to read the dog, that kind of stuff. More stuff geared towards the actual handling of the dog.
Now, would an example of scent theory be something like you can match a suspect to a weapon?
Scent theory, that's more like that's more bloodhound style stuff when you're talking about CSI kind of stuff. Scent theory would be how does the wind affect the way scent works? How does temperature on a hot day affect whether the scent rises or lays down? How does a tree at 100 yards away affect the scent picture for the dog? Wow. So we started looking at scent theory with our environment, and the handlers needed to read the cues that dogs are sending us. It's not just take a dog out there and the dog runs and finds it. You have to read the dog at all times. You're looking at the head, you're looking at the tush of the dog. You're looking at simple things like that most people take for granted. What is the tail doing? Is the tail lying flat? Is the tail raised? Is it wagging? Stuff like that. All that is scent theory to us. We actually read all of that.
That's remarkable. Is it true that a dog can smell the difference between salt and sugar?
Oh, no doubt. You think about a scent picture for a dog. When we walk into a bakery, we smell chocolate chip cookies right away. They don't think like that. They break everything down. They smell the yeast. They smell the flour. They smell the egg. They smell the chocolate. They break all the ingredients down individually. That's why a bloodhound is scent specific. So when we go out on a criminal tracking, we're looking for the DNA-based scent of the suspect. Only his suspect. Only that one suspect. We're not looking for 3 different people that ran away from the crime scene. We're only looking for that one suspect because it is strictly DNA-based. If you take 2 identical twins and they walk away and we have a scent article from one of the twins, the dog will follow the correct twin.
Oh, that's remarkable. Wow, that's interesting. I would do this later. I would do you have any ladies on your team?
We actually, our captain is a female.
Very, very cool. What's her name?
Ann Anderson.
Well, hello there, Ann Anderson. You've got a great team. Now, what happens if, say, you retire and the dog's not ready to retire? What happens to that dog?
Well, on the patrol dogs, the patrol canines, they would probably recycle the dog to a new handler, unless the dog was close to retirement. If it's within a year or 2, they'll retire the dog with their handlers to keep them together. On the search and rescue side, those are our dogs. So those, if we retire, the dogs retire. The chances of a volunteer retiring before the dog is slim to none, because after you've spent 1,000 hours just your first year in training, the last thing you want to do is quit yourself. When you have this much time invested into it, you look at Ernie and myself. On a normal day, we work probably a 60-hour week at work, and then we probably dedicate at least 60 hours to the search and rescue team every single week.
In addition,
Guaranteed.
that's 120 hours a week.
At least.
And the dog lives with you.
And they're with us 24/7.
Yeah, I think last year we did a total of 36 or 38 public demonstrations or different like street fairs and Girl Scouts, pretty much women's clubs, anybody that wanted to see the dogs work, we went out. So I think we did 36 or 38. In addition to that, I think on this dog alone, he had 280 hours of training logged on his schedule. And then that doesn't count our actual working cases that we actually get called to work on.
That's unbelievable. I don't know when you sleep. That's absolutely amazing. And for example, what's coming up and why they're here, partially, is because the 3rd annual Dining with the Dogs fundraiser dinner is coming up at the Camarillo Ranch House Saturday, April 6th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you want tickets, I want you to call now. Now is when you call. Spence, our new number is 805-650-1590, correct?
That is correct.
Spence is manning the phone. You want tickets? I'm giving away 3 pairs. That's a total of 6. 3 pairs of tickets right now.
And if they do miss that, they can actually call me and I will sell them tickets if they'd like to attend our event.
Absolutely.
And you can call me at 805-630-2531. Make sure it's after the show because I won't answer the phone now, but 805-630-2531. And we can get those tickets to you.
Absolutely. Terrific. Okay.
It's a great event.
Spence it really is a lot of fun. I'll be there too. Spence is going to be answering the phone. Our new number, 805-650-1590. We'll give you Ernie's number again a little bit later. If you've won something the last 30 days, give someone else a chance, please. If you already won these tickets, I have your name. I'll be getting those tickets to you. I'll tell you exactly how you're going to get them. So, thank you. We already have phones ringing. That's terrific. All right. Back to some more questions. Now, we happen to have Ben's a lab. He's a golden lab.
Yeah, Ben's a yellow lab. In Ben's case, is one of the only dogs in my truck that I have not purchased. He was bought by a couple that work for my wife at the Oaks Mall. And after they bought him at the Oaks Mall, and he promptly destroyed part of their house and was obviously getting to be more than they could handle, I ended up taking him, and I was going to get him to train him for my grandson, just have a good dog. After about the first 4 days, I was ready to shoot him myself. So I put him straight into search and rescue, started training him, and he's been an awesome dog for what he does.
He's adorable. Hello, Ben. Ben. Ben.
Ben.
Speak.
Ben. There we go. There he is.
How old did you say he was?
Ben's a little bit over 2 years old.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay,
All right,
down.
not
Good boy.
Sorry, I did that when Spence was on the phone. That was a mistake. Sorry, Spence. Okay, so besides labs, most of us think you have German Shepherds, and now you've spoken about bloodhounds. I also believe a lot of people think that you get them only from Germany, which is wrong. I think most of our dogs are born and made right here in the United States of America. Is that correct?
I would say that a lot of the patrol dogs come from overseas, just because their training lines are, between their lines and the way they train in general back in Germany and Czech and stuff like that, is probably a little bit more geared towards law enforcement. That doesn't mean you can't get them from here. There's some great, actually, there's a place out in Fillmore that does Malinois, Belgian Malinois, that incredible dogs. So yes, they are local. You can find them. All of our dogs, most of our detection dogs come from either Wisconsin or Texas. So we buy all of our labs from the Americas.
That's true. I'm glad to hear that. Are they males predominantly, or females, or both? Or?
It really depends on the handler's personality, more or less. We prefer, Ernie and I are what we consider a little bit tougher handlers. So the male dogs work better because they're not as smart.
Very true.
Very true. The female dogs will shut down if you come down on them too hard. They'll just basically give you the paw and you're done.
Give you the paw.
They'll give you the paw.
That would look like a show our cameraman. What is it? Speak to the paw.
Speak to the paw.
Speak to the paw. That's very funny.
So that runs through the whole animal system and the humans and everything else.
It does, yes.
That's really funny. That's amazing. Okay, you want tickets? How many tickets we have left?
We have 2 pair. I got Mary Nelson out of Camarillo. She won a pair. So you can dial 650-1590, 650-1590, and you can dine with the Dogs' 3rd annual fundraiser dinner, and that is happening on April 6th. So give us a call, 650-1590.
Of course, that's in the 805 area code. Spence, do you have a question for the handlers and or for Ben?
Okay, cool hand, Luke. When the dogs are released on him and he throws the pepper on the ground, does that really work to throw the dogs off? Because you were talking before how things in the environment can affect the smell. So if somebody does the old trick of trying to cover their tracks, if you will,
It's,
How good are the dogs hitting?
that is so for the movies.
It is 100%.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to change the scent theory of the dog.
Tell me he didn't eat 50 eggs?
No. No, you know, and just to prove this, I went to a...
But the dog did.
Yeah, the dog.
I went to a demonstration, and basically we had a lady that wanted to throw the dogs off, so she pulled out perfume out of her...
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, she pulled perfume out of her purse and sprayed, unfortunately, she sprayed my scent article full of perfume, which now I can't use my scent article anymore. But nevertheless, the dog still found it, didn't care about the perfume whatsoever. They're only, you think about it, they're only trained to find a certain amount of sources, so if that's all you know in life, I mean, if you only know 5 different scent sources that you get reward on, you're going to smell through anything anyway, so.
Gosh, that's remarkable. Now, back to explosives,
Yes.
that was part of the dog's oath. If a dog were to find or locate an explosive, what's their response to that? What do they do?
Different dogs have different responses. Typically with like narcotics, cadaver, arson, you'll have what we call an active alert, which the dog will bark or scratch. Obviously with bombs, you can't have an active alert at all. I mean, it's got to be a real passive alert. Typically, they lay down. Typically, they'll either lay down next to it, or they'll sit and point to it, look at it. There's what's also called the focused alert. The focused alert is where they'll stare at the object and they won't move their head at all until the dog is given a reward. Typically on an explosive deal, as soon as that dog lays down, everyone pulls back.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But aren't you worried to death about the dog?
Well, the handler sure is. Yeah, I mean, of course the handler is. The good thing about a well-trained explosive dog or gun dog, they're very passive. They will not get excited at all. It's just another day in the office for them, so they don't think any different.
Well, they don't have a clue anyway.
They don't have a different. Yeah, they have no clue. That's right, exactly.
Right. Ernie, what's been one of the most unusual things that has happened to you with Ben?
Unusual,
Or any of the other dogs?
Any of the dogs, it's one of those things you train so much, you just hope they don't get hurt in training. My cadaver dog actually hurt himself on a training, and I guess it was over a month ago. Ended up ripping off one of his toes. Long story short, 6 weeks later, he finally had a toe amputated. So you just never know. Ben's already had one surgery where he had something on his side that got through a search somewhere, got infected, and had to. So those are the kind of things we worry about as handlers, is our dogs getting injured and not being able to work because we put so much time and effort into it.
And money, and you're volunteer, so how can people help?
They can come to events like this and see all the dogs work. I see the dogs work every day, and yet I'm still fascinated by watching them. It's just amazing. We'll have probably over 40 dogs there doing demonstrations throughout the day. You get to see bite work, detection work, just obedience, you name it, it'll be out there. And you can meet the dogs. A special treat this year is we have 2 puppies. One's 5 months old, one's 4 months old. We'll be out in the field throughout the day, and you can get to meet them and see how some of their training is going as well.
That 4-month-old's in your truck right now.
That's actually a 5-month-old.
Oh, okay.
He's training to find guns. That's his major thing, and evidence. That's what he does. The other puppy's 4 months old, and it's learning to be a cadaver dog. So you get to meet both of those dogs.
And of course, what we're talking about is 3rd annual Dine with the Dogs fundraiser dinner, Camarillo Ranch House, Saturday, April 6th, 2 to 7 p.m. Spencer, we have another ticket, 2 tickets.
Let's go 650-1590. Give me a call and I'll chat down your name and you'll go to the big party with the dogs.
And you'll be able to see the dogs and meet them and watch them. Legal Beagle, do you have a question?
Can a dog actually be a weapon? Can you train the dog to attack, to kill?
Any dog can be trained to do anything. I mean, I hate to say that. As long as they have the drive and the focus, they'll work. The labs, which are known basically as a soft jaw dog, they're made for hunting. They'll attack just like a shepherd will. You just got to teach it from a young age, and as long as the dog has the drive, it'll do it. I don't think any of the dogs. You look even at patrol dogs; they're not trained to attack and kill. That's not their job. Their job is to subdue, basically to give handler protection, if you will, and then to take the suspect to the ground until the officer can come over and actually take the suspect into custody. That's their job. They're not really out there. If you think about it, it's just nothing more than a chew toy for the dog.
The dogs bite and hold.
That's what they're trained to do, is bite and hold. Hang on, take the suspect to the ground, and then wait for a backup officer to come in there and actually take him into custody. That's their job.
Do they ever get so attached to the handler that they won't work with any other handler? I mean,
for the most part, that's a good question. Actually, for the most part, I would say it's true. They do get attached. It might be that the handler's getting so attached to the dog. the dogs really just like to work, and they can switch to a different handler. Typically, we don't like to do that because they do. There's a bond. The loyalty issue is always there. So.
Fascinating, absolutely amazing. Ernie Cox, give them your phone number one more time and the website.
Sure, absolutely. It's my number is 805-630-2531. 805-630-2531. The website.
What did you use, Arch? Yeah. The website is www.vcsark9.org. Stands for Ventura County Search and Rescue. Letter K, number 9.org.
Michael Grossman, Ernie Cox, you guys are amazing. It's so admirable that you volunteer your time and your money and your efforts to do this, to protect us civilians. You get a receipt for charitable donation should you buy a ticket. This ticket price is $60, but it includes a tax deductible donation of $40 because they are a 501c3 foundation. Third annual Dining with the Dogs, really fun thing to go do and see. Saturday, April 6th, next Saturday, 2 to 7. I'll be on again. I'll be on the air next Saturday, so I'll remind you all again next Saturday as well. This segment's coming down to an end. Let's have Ben say goodbye to us. Ben?
Say hi. Yeah.
Come on, Ben.
Come on. Can you speak?
Yeah. All right. Thank you very, very much for coming in. We do appreciate your time. We're going to let you go and take care of the rest of the dogs. Thank you so much for coming on the Lyn Fairly and Fabulous Friend Show. You guys are fabulous. And we're going to end this segment with how much is that doggy in the window, I think. And then we're going to do the Veteran Shoemaker minute.
How much is that doggy in the window?